Welcome everyone. Now we have the first virtual Stakeholder Day for Radical Health Festival 2026. And happy Midsummer Eve to all Nordic friends. So the big feast is upcoming. And at least in Finland, we are being welcomed with the very, very fresh weather. So let's hope that it's getting more sunny in the near future. And big thanks to everyone for joining us before leaving to summer festivals and holidays. Today, actually, we have a great opportunity to learn about the Radical Health Festival 2026, what it will be, and what really makes it different. So we do welcome you all as partners, exhibitors, visitors. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us in finding out any ways to participate. So we do welcome you back in Helsinki in January. So regarding today's agenda, in the later part of the webinar, we will hear from the organizing committee, from Pascal Lardier and Sean Roberts, about the festival, what it is all about. But we will start the event with two presentations from our main partners, Ministry of Social Affairs and Health and City of Helsinki. So it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker. Our first speaker is the Flying Ambassador of Finnish Healthcare and Innovation. It's my great honor and pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Special Envoy for Health and Wellbeing from Ministry of Social Affairs and Health, Dr. Päivi Sillanauke.
Thank you, Juha. Welcome all to this webinar on behalf of the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health, Finland. And I will tell you here and explain why my ministry and government is participating in this conference and why it is in Finland. So in Finland, we are revolutionizing the future of Finnish health and well-being sector, and we want then to build a strong network of countries to follow us and do this revolutionizing with the help of new technology and data and AI. And that is what the Radical Health Festival is all about. So we feel that the theme of operationalizing precision health and need to give prevention the attention it deserves is really well resonating our strategy and health policy. So may I have the next slide, please? We know that when we have all this new technology data and we have seen what it has enabled in other sectors, so there is a really need for a paradigm shift in the diagnostics, treatment and utilization of data and AI in health sector. And there is also a study from World Bank which has shown that there is also opportunities and potential to make the health systems more efficient and the society is more resilient, and we could save costs, but also then have then solutions for the lack of professionals we have all over the world. The next slide, please. This is to show you that Finland and our government is really committed that Finland also continues to be a technological front runner. And we are in front line then using the data also for R&D purposes and steering purposes and also educational purposes for the benefit of people. And we have also a strong policy commitment for intersectoral collaboration with ministries, which is needed to be able to do the prevention at the population level, but also at the individual level, at the primary, secondary, tertiary prevention phases. Next slide, please. What we built here in Finland then, our pathway, towards a new era of health systems and the well-being of people. So we building on the technological advancements in AI-driven diagnostic, biotechnology, telemedicine, and minimally invasive procedures and products of robust R&D efforts. Then we have preventive and precision medicine very strongly on our basis, and use R&D with private and academy and public sector collaborations to really target then to find solutions and develop solutions for therapies and helping reduce chronic diseases. And then efficient treatments, of course, because we can be more precise, take already treatments and actions earlier, and in that way do the shift from hospital care to prevention and also prediction. Next slide, please. So the revolutionizing of future Finnish health and well-being sector, and where we really want a large network to collaborate with us and innovate the solutions with us, is that we are changing national guidance and coordination to achieve a radical shift towards preventive healthcare, boost international growth and promote the commercialization of business operations of the health and well-being sector, faster and more comprehensive implementation of new technologies also in well-being services counties which are responsible on social and health services, as well as primary and secondary services, which helps also to use the register rate data more in a more comprehensive way. And we are also building then approach to our national approach to our data, so it's even better give us opportunities to learn more about our rich data registers, and making a Finnish health and well-being sector more attractive for international talent collaboration and investment. As I mentioned before, we need all the innovation capabilities from different countries, researchers and private sector also. We have in our legislation open our ecosystems for, and also access to our data according to our legislation, then also for foreign researchers and foreign companies to join us. Next slide, please. This is to show that we are really active partner in R&D, but also health policy levels at the local, then Nordic level, which is really important, family for us to collaborate together and find out ways to use then our rich databases also together. And then Europe, of course, we are coordinating then we coordinated the preparation of European health data space, but we are also then coordinating the implementation of that, and we are willing also to showcase and be the leader in showing also the way towards beyond EHS, because we know that there are also needs to do also harmonization of the regulation at the EU level to be more attractive, the whole European region then for research and development in the future also. And our commissioner from Finland is sitting in really, really strong place there, and we are here also to support her to in helping then the way how the harmonize then the regulation regarding health sector research and development then at the EU level. And also globally we are really active at the WHO but other fields also. And next slide, please. And we have also showcased that it's not only this government, but it is a continuous of different governments which have been supporting then the way, and there we can show that it's iterative process we really do here, and we are the first ones sometimes when we launch things like the secondary use of the data. And then we learn, and there is also political willingness then to do the changes that are needed, which is so important when we build our future and define our future environment then for the use of data in a secure and safe way, but also so that it would benefit our people's health and well-being. And the next slide, please. This was the end of the presentation, but with these I would like to then explain you why Finland and why our ministry is so interested in participating and also having impact in in the program, we are also asking and inviting then our welfare districts to this, so that there will be also then possibilities to discuss and hear insights from those who are doing then the reform at the practical level in our social and health service system. And then we already launched 7 years ago, Digital Health Advisory Group Europe have been active each year having meetings with that. And we are planning then to create a new chapter of this DAS. Then here at Helsinki Radical Health Festival. And as I mentioned, international track for policy change would be really good to have, also to be able to then talk to relevant people who are making then decisions or preparing then the decisions for politicians, so that we could harmonize then the way how we proceed with this data economy era and the technological era, because technology do not know borders, and these AI solutions, they are scalable, but we have to make sure that it is they are there is possibility to use them also in other countries than where they are developed, so that we can really learn and use the benefits of the new innovation. So with these words, I really warmly welcome you to Helsinki in January. We won't have a lot of light then, as we have now during our midsummer, when we do not actually have real nights or dark time at all, but that compensates during the winter time. But there is really fresh air then, and we will be having a great time also in January in Finland. Back to you, Juha.
Thank you, and thank you very much, Päivi. And I must say, from my behalf, I really feel that we are fortunate to have a government in this current time space, which really has a truly positive attitude towards public-private partnership, finding ways to develop solutions together, but not only within Finland. So I think the stance of building international collaboration, sharing our know-how and knowledge, I think that is unique and superbly interesting in the current time, where we are in the time of increasing use of AI. We have increasing need for data, and we in Finland have already good experience in secondary use of data. So super exciting times coming, and once more, thank you, Päivi. And one important and perhaps the most important element in the healthcare structure is the primary and social healthcare. And we have the pleasure of having the largest district of primary healthcare and social care to be present as a partner of the event. And now it's my great honor to introduce our next speaker, who's leading the largest primary health and social care services in Finland, from the city of Helsinki, Social Services, Healthcare and Rescue Services Division, the Executive Director, Dr. Juha Jolkkonen.
Thank you. The other Juha just mentioned what is my responsibility. So I'm Juha Jolkkonen. It's very nice to meet all of you. I will just give you a brief insight on how we from the city side see this topic and these issues. And it's very easy to continue after Päivi giving us the governmental aspect. So as Juha mentioned, I'm responsible for the social services, healthcare and rescue services for the 680,000 inhabitants in Helsinki. And you should also know that we have, for instance, a common patient and client data system covering all social and healthcare, starting from the specialized care to primary care to social services. And that's why we have an excellent database on all the services and all the data from our customers and clients from the services we provide and we organize. Next slide, please. But why are we here again? This is the third time we're organizing this event together with our excellent partners. This is, I think, and we believe, is a unique international forum for especially co-creating future solutions. This is not a congress, this is not a conference, this is something new and something different. And also I'm talking, of course, about technologies. I'm talking about digitalization, on AI, on data, how to use data. But I'm also talking about service solutions. I'm talking about integration of data, but also integration of services. I'm talking about diminishing the silos between structures, the fragmentation of data and the fragmentation of services, how we should do things together. These previous events, these two events we had previously, they brought special partnerships, very fresh perspectives, and also real-world pilots. And I think we can all share this experience. If you have been with us the last 2 years, you can really share these kind of thoughts. And our aim, and this year's aim, becoming year's aim, will be even deeper dialogue, even deeper collaboration when it comes to these topics I just mentioned. And we hope to connect people, we hope to connect different actors. Of course, social and healthcare professionals, of course, tech innovators, of course, data people, but also cities, also regions, public and private actors, startups, of course, companies, and researchers, people that do research with these topics. So we really want to have this not as a one sector kind of event, but multi-sectoral event, combining and getting people together. Next one, please. So one example is the Health Unbound track. It's kind of a new paradigm. We tend to think more and more that it's health and welfare that are no longer restricted to hospitals or health centers or social and healthcare professionals, but they are everywhere. These topics and these targets, goals are everywhere in any time, anywhere, in everything that we do in everyday life. So we need to enable prevention, early support for people to do things by themselves. Of course, we need digital tools, we need user-centric approach, services, but also approach to help people to do things for themselves. And of course, we do, as I mentioned, cross-sectoral ecosystems. This is not just a matter of social and healthcare. This is not just a matter of companies that provide health technology. This is much more than that. And of course, I see and we see that cities are an essential driver in this transformation. Of course, governments are important, national approach is very important, but cities are the ones that are close to inhabitants, close to people, and that can make the change. Next, please. We want to create healthy cities. We want to have we do have a vision that health and well-being is built and must be built in everyday urban life, as I mentioned. And the key themes are, for instance, these are just a few examples: urban planning, combining technology, community involvement. That's very important. And that's why we need to exchange best practices and also spark new partnerships in the cities, but also between cities, between countries, between different actors. Next, please. And also one aspect is health in the workplace. This is a core part of modern public health kind of thinking. And of course, this is also a post-pandemic insight that health at work is very essential. And of course, this comes to how to support workability, how to promote, for instance, mental well-being, and how to ensure safe and healthy environments, both remote and on-site, because the world is different after pandemic than it was before pandemic. Next one, please. So Helsinki really warmly welcomes collaboration. Of course, we are very active in collaboration. At the moment, we collaborate inside Finland with different areas, with the government, with companies, with startups, but also we welcome collaboration globally and internationally. Let's go create smarter, healthier cities and areas. Let's move health beyond walls into everyday life, as I mentioned, and let's look forward to meaningful connections, not just chit-chat, but meaningful connections and also shared action. Next, please. I also always want to talk or have a few words on digitalization. It's not just the conventional digital services, but it's more of a wider approach to preventive social and health care, because we need to provide support, we need to provide advice and opportunities for people before they even approach social or health care, even before they have some problems that arise. We need to encourage clients, people, citizens, and direct them to use digital services to help themselves. And of course, we need automation, we need robotics, we need AI more and more. We need to use AI, for instance, in finding risk factors that we haven't identified before, for instance, social determinants of health. Next one, please. And finally, I just want to give you some insight on the volumes we are using digital services at the moment. As I mentioned, we have 680,000 people, inhabitants in the city of Helsinki, and we have enabled, related to our client and patient data system, we have enabled a MISA client and patient portal they can use. And actually, for instance, last year we had almost 25 million different sessions in MISA portal. We had more than 160,000 symptom checks or chatbot discussions, almost 50,000 of them. And next one, please. And then we had 1.6 million messages from clients to professionals and vice versa with these inhabitants. 90%, so 9 out of 10 of our clients have activated this application. And of course, we do video visits and so on. Next one, please. And these are just some examples. I mentioned the patient portal. Of course, we have a symptom checker device, and we also have chatbot that includes almost 500 topics. So this is something that we really need to use technology solutions and of course data also to help people. Next one, please. Or was this my last one? I think it was my last one. With these few words, as Päivi, I also want to warmly welcome you all to participate our event in January. It's going to be a unique, I have to highlight, a unique kind of approach to these topics, to these issues. It's not a congress, it's not a conference. So please be open-minded, bring your ideas, bring your solutions, bring your kind of ideas to common solutions and to common discussion. Thank you. And let's go on. And of course, we do have a Q&A after this, so in the end of this session. So we are here to answer and have a dialogue with you. Thank you. Back to Juha.
Thank you, Juha. And really exciting to learn about Helsinki. And I think that internationally looking, Helsinki is really good front runner when it comes to utilization of digital health and tools. But I think that when looking at the fact that Finland is actually voted for 8 consecutive years as the happiest country in the world, I think municipalities and the fact that we actually care how our citizens are doing, I think that's vital. And it's very clear when looking at the activities, what, for example, Helsinki is doing, there's a lot of care about how people feel and how things are running. So really great to have Helsinki on board. And I'm sure there will be lots of learnings and good collaboration opportunities with Helsinki. So thank you very much. And now let's move forward with the agenda. And now it's time for the organizing committee, Sean Roberts and Pascal Lardier, to explain about what has been planned for the Congress and what is making this festival different from the other ones. So handing over to Sean and Pascal. Here you go.
Thank you, Juha. Can we have the presentation, Rebecca, please? Thank you. So welcome to this meeting. I didn't know that Midsummer was such a big deal in the Nordics. It is a big deal where I live. So I want to say Feliz San Juan to everyone. We wanted to start the presentation of our plans for 2026 by answering a question that we've had last year's come to us. We never intended radical health to be provocative for the sake of being provocative. This being said, there's a lot of claim that a lot of groups have the objectives to transform the healthcare industry, but this being said, they profit too much from it to really be serious about transforming it. I think what makes radical health very different, it's independence. So we've been working really hard over the last editions, basically to bring radical topics. And sometimes it's topics that some of our partners may not want to hear, but this is what we've been doing, and we've been inviting radical speakers. But this year we want to answer the question about what we do with formats, because you can't just repackage radical speakers and radical topics into the same, opening presentation followed by a panel discussion. So we've made some resolutions, and we're building a plan to answer the question about radical formats. So first of all, we'll do less PowerPoint, and we'll encourage audience engagement. We've been thinking of some radical session formats, and conferences are made to give a voice to the people who are in the audience, who also have some expertise. We want to do some technology presentation, but we'll probably do it in a Pecha Kucha format. And we've thought of fun sessions like slide roulettes, which is basically you invite a number of panelists and they have to react to whatever is shown on the screen. And this is chosen by the moderators. But more importantly, we're open to your suggestions to make it a really exciting and radical events. We're also creating guidelines for partners and speakers to encourage them to think radically when it comes to format. We've thought of ways to bring people into a mindset that allows them the openness to listen to someone's presentation or someone's words. And right now we're going towards breathing exercises. This year, we really want to have a strong focus on deployment initiatives. And you'll see why in a second. We want to bring also some precision health awards, and I will give you an idea of what we call precision health. Two categories, one technology and one implementation. And then because we don't want to do an event that doesn't leave a trace, we want to try to create with the audience, the participants, some type of roadmap of how to turn health systems into precision health systems. I think we can go to the next slide. So with all this, we came up with the tagline for 2026 to be radical in action. And that will be done through engaging with the community, bringing innovations on stage, fostering, nurturing partnerships, and making sure that whatever we do has an impact in the future. You can go to the next slide. So a few words about the topic this year. It actually follows a progression. For those who attended year 1 and year 2, you may remember that year 1 was called a wake-up call. And it was basically saying that sustainability was a problem, that health systems were running into a wall, and that we needed to react. So it was a little bit like a brainstorm, I would say. Then the second chapter was really about saying, I think we have the space for sustainability, and it's at the intersection of precision and prevention. And the third edition is a lot more practical. It's about operationalizing precision health. So how do we make it happen, in other words? And precision health, I want to be clear, we're not talking about precision medicine. Precision health starts before the onset. We start applying the precision principles before the onset of any diseases or any complications of a condition. It's also a little different from a 4P approach, as in the fact that it is a lifelong approach to health and care. So it starts at your birth, basically. And it's about leveraging data from various sources to assess risk factors, predict, prevent, but also target and personalize interventions. And again, the interventions are not necessarily post-onset. Hopefully, we can act before. So the third edition of the festival, Operationalizing Precision Health, is about demonstrating with concrete example from around the world that this, which is a true paradigm shift, is not only possible, but it's already happening. I think we can move to the next one. So we're thinking of exploring these examples and this overarching theme with 3 tracks. The first one will be co-curated with the Finnish Ministry of Social Affairs and Health. And it is a ministerial track, so it will be a lot about policy making, and we called it in the program Policy for Change. You can see a lot of the people who will be involved in the audience or in the partners that we will be choosing to work with on this topic. One thing that I would like to mention is that we don't mention patient groups in any of these columns because patient groups are throughout the event. You may remember from previous editions that we actually have the opening and the closing of each day with words from patients. We want to know what did they hear, how did they react, and what are their own thoughts on what was exchanged. And of course, patients are part of a lot of the sessions in the main program. It's not just the opening and the closing. The second track is really about data and AI, and that is a pillar of everything that is the promise under precision health. How can we predict, prevent, assess risk factors if we don't have the data or the capabilities, which nowadays means AI, to analyze this data and turn it into insights that we can act upon? I'll be very brief about Health Unbound because I think Juha Jolkonen gave a really good presentation of what we will do. We will co-curate with the city of Helsinki. So I think we can move on to the next slide. This is a very preliminary program. We have assembled a program committee and an advisory board, which will start from now on to work on improving what is a starting point. But you can see that day one is about site visits. There's a lot to see and to learn from in Helsinki. It was very successful in the first two editions, so I'm assuming it will be again this year. Then starting in the afternoon, or if they need a full day, day one is about partners. It's about bringing their own expertise to the table. So we'll talk about a few of the topics. You can see, again, this is not set in stone. But day one will finish with a welcoming keynote, which will answer the question, what does it mean to operationalize precision health, and why is it a paradigm shift? Day two, you could say, is the core of the program. We're starting with a keynote, we're finishing with a keynote about planetary health, and we have our 3 tracks, which we explored in the slide before. Day three is a lighter day, I would say, because we start with creative and interactive activities. Then we continue the different tracks from day one, and the closing will be an open forum. I think we can move on to the next slide. And I'll give the floor to my colleague, Sean Roberts, to give you an idea of the partners and the ways to participate in the event.
Thanks, Pascal. Hi, everyone. And thank you again to Juha and Päivi for sharing their insights. As you can see, how the festival is laid out and how it's organized, we are obviously the consortium and the steering partners between Mesukeskus, Edito Health, the City of Helsinki, and the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health. And I'd like to echo what Päivi and Juha both said in regards to public-private partnerships and collaboration. The festival wouldn't be a festival without these organizations that have supported us and also bring their knowledge as well as communities. So the festival is a community. This is just a small snapshot of some of the organizations that have contributed in content, but also in sharing a lot of knowledge with us throughout the last 2 years, and that continue to work with us going forward. Next slide. And this is a snapshot of the industry. Again, we have to have the entire ecosystem collaborating together for the festival. So this is just, we have a lot of the Finnish health hubs and ecosystems that are involved with us, and as well as international organizations that have supported and sharing insights and best practices from their side. Next slide. For those of you who were with us in 24, or those who may be new to the festival, I just wanted to give you a little insight as to our stats from 2024. This is just to share with you a little bit around who was there, how many people, and how we engage with the community and the festival. I'm not going to read everything, but I just want to highlight we've had historically over 175 speakers from 32 countries. So although this is completely made in Europe, we are an international festival, an international community. I think we've also are very proud of having 50 international journalists on site at the festival. This is quite a significant number for these types of events. So we're very proud of that. And if you're not following us on LinkedIn, please do, because we've been growing very organically. I think the first year in 23, we had something like 200 people following us, and now we're probably closer to 3,500. And our goal is to get to even 4,500 before the end of the year. This is just also to show you the different partners, and with the organizations I shared and with their logos on the previous screen, it shows you who's contributed to the sessions. Next slide. To give you some also background on the demographics and the audience that attend us, we're also very proud to see around 50% Finnish and 50% international and European that specifically that are coming to the festival. We also have had one of the highest numbers of clinicians join us. And for these types of digital health events, if it's not very niche to a clinical event, it's harder to get clinicians. But we have thankfully been able to attract the clinical audience and have them on stage, but also attend the festival. Again, the breakdown here is around the government and institutions and the public sector as well as the industry, farmer, and then NGO partnerships. Next slide. So now we look for our campaigns and our plans for 2026. So we've obviously started, and this has been going ahead since May. This is just to kind of give you the marketing plan that we have in place for moving things forward. As Pascal mentioned, we have a call for papers, so there are ways to get onto the program and to share your knowledge and involvement. We have links. We will send those to everybody, but there is definitely opportunities to be able to find your way into the program. And we will keep communicating with everyone, especially since after the midsummer and after the summer holidays. We will be back in September and registration will be open then. Next slide. Here's also the KPIs for us. Our target is to get 1,500 attendees. As I mentioned in the last slide, we've had last year just over 1,100. And I think we have an ambitious but very doable goal for 26. Also, I mentioned about growing our LinkedIn followers. And by the way, some of you are subscribing to our newsletter and you'll see, but we have in the database over 13,000 participants that get the newsletter every week. And then I mentioned the WhatsApp community. We have now for speakers and the advisory board, we will be communicating a lot with them through those channels. So this is another way for the community to be able to be engaged together and not just through one channel that we would communicate with them. Next slide. The overall strategy, as you can see, you saw the new tagline, Radical in Actions. We are very much still amplifying and through our participation and collaboration with the Finnish ecosystem and the Finnish government, promoting and pushing all of the channels to communicate with our community. The good thing that we've had and through the partnerships as well as our attendees, they communicate directly with us. And we want to make sure we keep those open so that we can keep sharing and growing what we're doing as well as the program as it keeps unfolding. Next slide. Obviously, this is our information we'll share, and we'll share these slides and the other slides with you. But if there's anything specific, you know how to get a hold of us. I will bring some of the other speakers back on if there is any questions that we can highlight or share. I think there was quite a few things in the chat. But we really want to thank you, and we look forward to welcoming you to Helsinki in January 26. So Mark is from ETEL, and he's been one of our collaborating partners from the beginning since 2023. And we're very thankful for the collaboration. Mark, can you share a little bit insight from ETEL's perspective on collaborating with us in 23 to now, and what activities and projects that you have upcoming and that we can look forward to for the festival next year?
Happy to do so. Yes, indeed. We are, since the beginning, we are working with you. We are enjoying the Radical Health Festival. We came because we know each other already from past experience. But what really we find very useful and relevant to us is the fact that this event, it's not a conference. I got the message and I agree with it. This event is a festival in the sense that it brings a number of different organizations to create a festival. And that was really an important point for us, because we, as an organization, as ETEL, we are an old organization, 25 years of experience on digital health, but we are still small in terms of ambition, or not ambition, in terms of organization. And so working and partnering and expanding our networks and partnering with others is really something that is important, because we are for our members a collaboration platform, and we want to be part of other collaboration platforms. So it's at different levels. But it's also very interesting, and I very much like the orientation you are giving to this year's festival, is the fact that your approach and your analysis of the situation is very much aligned with our own analysis. So we really, as ETEL, we really want to support implementers, to help implementers to know, to learn from each other, but also to progress and to go to actions. So it's not about not about strategies. We need strategies, but it's much more than that. It's also about really implementation. And I would say that for the moment, for this year in particular, but that will also come for the following years, we as ETEL, we will be very much engaged in, of course, preparing the European health data space. Preparing the European health data space here for us means that helping our members and helping our network to get prepared. So specifications are being worked out, and that makes everyone nervous. That's clear, and that's normal. But at the same time, we also need to prepare to have a meaningful EHDS. That's really important, to have data that will be flying about in EHDS seamlessly, but also data that are of the right quality and that can be used for AI and for decision support systems and whatever. And it's clear that here, Finland is a forerunner in the field, no doubt. We know Finland in ETEL, we know Finland from 25 years. We had members, so we have Finnish members. Today it's called THL. In the past it was called it was named Stakes. We have also some others at the same time, and we have been partnering with Citra. So we know well Finland. It's clear that Finland is a forerunner, but it's clear that there's a lot is happening everywhere, and that is really a demand for people to get prepared at the moment where the specification will be known. So in such a way, from that perspective, operationalization is really a key word for us, like this year for the Radical Health Festival. That's really important. Last point I would like to highlight in the fact that in terms of the alignment between the Radical Health Festival and ETEL is also this point that was made by Juha from Helsinki on health and social care. This is also a key point for us. We have a number of programs, a number of projects, a number of activities that are concentrating on integrating healthcare and social care since years. So not only European health data space, but also redesigning health and care services using technologies, of course, but again, combining these elements. So as such, and of course, should we mention citizens? Since some years, we are not willing to put the citizen in the center. That's not the idea, but placing citizens we prefer to use the word individuals as part of the care team, as part of the health management processes. We had in the past a lot of activities in relation to on making individuals actors of their data sharing, so mediating sharing data via individuals. So these are kind of topics that we are working on. So there is a lot of echo between what the topics that you are including on the Radical Health Festival and what we are doing. So that's great, and that's clear. It's clear that this is that this collaboration between ETEL and Radical Health Festival is fruitful from our own perspective also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We really appreciate that. And we have been honored to have ETEL as our contributing partner over the last 3 years. We also will now do some Q&A. I'd like to invite Päivi and Juha to come back on, and Pascal. And Mark, you're welcome to stay, please. Okay. I think there was a couple of questions initially that have been going throughout the start. One thing, Päivi, that was asked is Finland leading EHDS readiness?
Actually, we are already ready for EHDS kind of because we have had secondary use of the health data legislation already in active then since 2019. So we have already that authority FinData who then gives access to our data and processes then and combines the data from the different registers, pseudonymize it, and also offers then the secure environment to use that and the data, but also then certifies the secured environments. We have actually 10 other secure environments in our country also to be able to handle then the data. Of course, in EHDS there are because our secondary use of data includes secondary use. So EHDS includes both primary and secondary use, and we are doing at the same time then the changes in our legislation to really be able to implement the whole EHDS. And we are doing already changes to our secondary use of the data. So we are now discussing on that should we have then something beyond EHDS implementation to be able to really do more with the data than the secondary use of the EHDS then has, because there is in the EHDS legislation opportunity for countries also to make national legislation in regards of and beyond then what is in EHDS. So we are having also these discussions, and we are active at the European level. We are at the same time also participating then with private sector then the building of the infrastructure, technological infrastructure, also secure one for that. So there is a lot of going on in Finland, what we are building on already existing legislation. So I could say that also that we are also leading then that part of EHDS. Yes, and happy to talk about that, because we would like to that be compatible with other countries one, because it's so important that we could then collaborate together, and because we have faced already some challenges we see and saw in EHDS also. So it would be so good to get decision makers and other civil servants who are defining then this environment and data legislation to understand that perhaps there are already need for some changes in our regulation in EHS, but also beyond that legislation to be able to benefit from the data. That's the way how we see it here in Finland.
Thank you, Päivi. There was another question that was asked about any offsite activities around Helsinki. I know we have done this in the past, and we will be looking at some site visits for 26. Juha, could you share, or do you think there's anything in particular that would be, I think we will have to manage the weather or possibility of the weather, but we do foresee that it's still going to be easy and possible for us to have some site visits while we're there. And I know that previously, through the ministry and the city of Helsinki, you also supported some delegations that we had to go to certain sites, even a little bit outside of Helsinki.
Before Juha comes, I would say that there is no problem with the weather. We have used to live with snow and snowstorms, so that's why we quite often use then Finnair when our airplane company then to travel during the winter time, because they can also make departures in snow storms, and our airport is ready for tackle then the snow that is coming, and our public transport is going, and there is, I think, no problem with us to organize then whether it is snowing or not in Finland. So don't worry about that.
Thank you.
Päivi is completely right. I can agree that it's very easy to commute inside Helsinki and also to the neighboring areas, and we do offer a ticket for public transportation also this year for the participants. I think Pascal or Sean, can you confirm this? And the weather won't be a problem, not at all. And I can assure you that we will have very interesting site visits. And actually, I would like to hear, and I would like you to send some proposals or some, if you have wishes for site events or site visits. What would you like to see or go and visit from specialized healthcare to primary healthcare to social care or whatever? Because as mentioned, we also do different kinds of health and well-being activities within the city. outside of social and healthcare. So we can also offer some physical activity examples or some cultural activity examples that are used to promote health and well-being. So please just send us your wishes.
Thank you, Juha. One of the questions, and this is maybe for Päivi and Juha again, that was asked about, is there some examples around the public-private partnerships or what Finland is doing at the moment that you can share? Is there anything, it says, what might be some of the immediate opportunities and partnerships government is exploring here?
There are many, but we have public-private partnerships going on, and one I could then mention here, for example, there is then we are studying then that when we have then one of our private sector companies can offer a diagnostic tool or measure then risks before symptoms, for example, chronic diseases, some number of chronic diseases, and now we are studying in probably in 3 different regions in Finland, what that means for the whole health and social system, that we when we have that kind of information, it has been already shown in studies that it has an impact in a person's behavior when he or she gets that information. But now we want to see that what changes we need actually at the system level when also our social health professionals get that information, and then we have now tool also to evaluate the efficiency of our interventions when we can get that information, and we will during then the 2 or 3 years follow up then the laboratory measures, for example, and other measures then of people when we try to prevent then the diseases and the chronic diseases also. So this is really unique, one of those unique projects we have, and at the Helsinki there are many also where public and private partnerships is going on in regards, for example, the whole like public health and well-being idea, where we can merge and combine data, where you also socioeconomic and behavioral data, so that we can then understand better then, for example, in which regions people are behaving in a certain way, and we can then try to find out new better interventions and more focused precise interventions, as mentioned here, like precise health. So there are many. Actually, we are open to public-private partnerships, and that is how we actually develop our solutions. Now it's more about that we could even quicker implement them into our system.
Exactly, and just a few words, Päivi really covered it all, but we live in a multi-provider kind of system. We organize services, but we don't provide them, all of them by ourselves, and we do have these technical and service solutions, for instance, MediCubeX, that you can walk in and have your health and well-being checked. Then we have this health benefit analysis that we can use our data to identify risks that we don't know or the individual doesn't know, and then we want to approach proactively these individuals, and this is something that Päivi already mentioned. We need some legislative changes, but that's something that we're going to do. And also we are involved in a AI for Healthy Cities initiative, where we want to use different kinds of databases and AI to find, for instance, social determinants of health and these kind of actions. So we do have a lot of collaboration with hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of actors and private partners also.
Thank you, Juha. I think we're going to be wrapping up now, but we just wanted to also mention that, as I said before, registration will be opening in September, and there will be a super early bird for everyone who wants to get ahead and register there, and we can share this with everyone who's registered for today's webinar. If you have speaker suggestions or topic suggestions, please reach out to Pascal. if you're looking to partner with us, if you want to collaborate, if you want to support the festival in any way, please reach out to myself. I'd like to thank everyone, for all our panelists and for everyone attending this. Again, we are a community. The festival is only a festival because of everyone and all of you. So we look forward to working with the entire ecosystem. Thank you, Päivi. Thank you, Juha. Thank you, Juha P. Thank you, Mark and Pascal. We wish you a great midsummer, and we look forward to reconnecting with you in September, and we look forward to seeing you in Helsinki in January. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
See you.
everyone.